we've got another little short project here. Guy came in the other day and brought in a couple of steering knuckles to a Geo Metro, which is my favorite little car. They get incredible gas mileage. They're really easy to work on. And since I work on all my own cars, hey, that's right down my alley. Anyhow, he's making a three-wheel car out of an old Geo Metro. And one of the things he wants to do is he wants to revamp the front end system. And this is the upper steering arm for the Geo, and it basically is going to connect to this knuckle, which has a taper here, and that's the part that he couldn't make, was the taper. So he's wanting me to make this whole piece. A couple of holes in it, and then the tapered hole down through the center and squared off, and 1.5 inches deep and 2.5 inches wide, and looks like 1.25 inches thick. So we're going to go over to the mill. I cut the material on the bandsaw, and it's ready to go. So we're going to go over the mill and square up this metal and get it ready for machine. Okay, while I go over and get the lathe set up and ready to go, I'll go ahead and babysit this here, and we'll come back to it as we got to go. I've got to take about 1/4 inch off of that. We got to come down to 225 thousandths, and that's 250 right now. Okay, so we've got our two blocks squared up. This is the 90 degrees from this, and that's what we needed to do in order to get the accuracy that he's asking for. And I don't know if you can see that one over there, but yeah, it looks like you can. We need to go from this edge, which would be this machined edge, to the center line to exactly 1.2500 plus or minus 0. So, and that has a lot to do with the caster or the camber, I can't remember which one, of the steering. So we're going to make sure that is accurate, and the rest of it can be, just general, close, but not that big deal. So I think what we're going to do now, if you look at this, the 150 is this way. And then I'm going to drill 2 holes through that direction. That correct? I think it is. So we'll drill our 2 holes, and then we'll come in and drill our center hole. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Well, let's get it closer. We're going to drill our holes that direction, through there, just as the drawing says, and then drill our pivot hole right through the top here. So we're going to drill our 2 side holes first, and he wants 7/16, so no problem. Well, this particular project, I need 3 absolute square surfaces. So we've got, and I put a little X on each one. 1, 2, and of course not that one, because that's the raw surface, 3. So we're working with, and then I put, of course, the 1 square surface up against my face of my vise, which is square, and then I can work from there and figure out what my center point is, and using the wiggler. Let's give it a try. Well, that's not very fast. Let's, yeah, I know, we're gonna fix that as soon as this job's over. That's what I keep saying, of course. What are we doing? Oh, let's speed this whole program up a little bit. And we bring ourselves in until the wiggler kicks. There we go. We set our DRO at 0, come back again and try it again, and even in it. Oh, well, we can't do it in a different place, can we? We can do it in the same place. Let's do it again. There's 0. Yeah, good. We're set. Now we take the measurement of the block. And this block is 7/1000 over 2 1/4. So we would go, my brain's not working, so I'm going to use the calculator. So 1,257 divided by 2 equals 0.6285. 0.66. And then let's take our wiggler out. Punch in 0. And we should have an exact center. Let's see what we got. Okay, we're going to get in the way of the tripod, so we're going to move you over a little bit. We're still there? Yep. Nope, that doesn't look right. So I'm screwed up somewhere. So let's add that 50, 40, 50. And that seems to land us right in the center. Let's see what that looks like. That's centered. Huh. All right, there's center. We're going to just draw a line. Oops, maybe not that much of a line. Okay. Now, our measurement is 1/2 inch in from the end. So let's come over to this end, connect our wiggler up to this end. There it goes. Okay, there's 0, and this isn't a super accurate measurement, so we don't have to fight too much with it. But we will start it there and go 500. And that looks like 500. Hey, good morning. Nick Collier here. It started raining last night for a little bit. It's kind of a little sprinkly out right now. We got a couple of drips and a little bit of noise on the tin roof. So that's really good. We love that. Today we're going to go ahead and cut that taper on the Metro project. And what I've done is I've come in and he gave me a knuckle to work from, and I'm going to cut the tape or measure the taper using the knuckle itself to set up my taper. So you know, there's many ways of doing this. You know, there's many ways to skin a cat, right? Uh, I could certainly go in and calculate all of this out, and that would take me a lot of time and a lot of heartache because I'm not real good at math. I know, machinist without math. How can you do it? Well, I kind of use geometry. So, and geometry is not so much about math, but it's about angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually work out the angle on this piece from the lathe itself. So let's play with that, and then of course if I'm off a little bit, I'll be able to test it and see how that's doing. So let's go ahead and get started, and hey, come in close, we're going to have some fun. Okay, first we're going to come in and just eyeball this thing in, and what I found is the bottom of a scale that I have here, and I'm just going to kind of set this thing up pretty much level as I can figure it, and then run this arm in until I line it up with the bed of the lathe. And we're just eyeballing it in just to kind of get a general idea of where we want to be. And it looks like we're going to be at 84 degrees maybe. So let's just give that a quick try and see all right, so we're going to take it down. Let's put this on 0. And we're just going to take it down and see what we got. Oops. We can't because we just bottomed down on our cross feed. All right. Take it to 0. Okay, we've shifted by, good 10,000, so we didn't even go the full distance. So what do we got? Almost 20 thousandths. So, as soon as I can find my wrench, there's my wrench. Let's open that up. And we are 20 thousandths to the strong. Let's see what we can do with that. Come back. Less. There we go. We're getting very close now. 1. Okay, we've got our degrees set on the compound, and now we're going to go in and do a test run. We're going to drill a hole through this piece of aluminum and do our angle and make sure that we've got the right angle before we go into the pieces of steel. All right, let's take it out of compound. We don't need that. Much better. And we're just going to take a hole straight through, no big deal. All right, take our drill bit out. And I've got this little boring head here with all kinds of little small boring attachments to it. Let's see, this one probably will work just fine. And they're all set up and ready to go, and I really like this little head for this lathe. Okay. All right, let's take a major diameter measurement here. And we're looking at 7 and a little bit. We're getting close. I think what I want to do is go ahead and check it out. See what we've got. Yeah, we're going to have to bore that small diameter out just a little bit more. Let's see, I don't think we can reach with this tool, but we can reach with this one. There we go. Okay, so we've got our hole cut and our taper set. Now we need to test our knuckle out and see how it's going to do. And you know, of course, I already tested it, but you can see that there's just a little bit of rock to it. So that means that that this edge is too, or this outside corner is too small, and the inside is a little bit too large. So all we have to do is just change the angle just a tad. Let's just give it a try. And from this point on, I'm just basically faking it until I can come up with the right angle. Well, that's way much. But let's go ahead and cut it and see what we come up with. I mean, just for yucks, we'll put this in there and see what that feels like. Now it goes the other way, so we've gone too far. So if we just come up with a leather mallet, let's see if we can take it back just a little bit. All right, that's enough for now. Still, it's a lot. So let's take her back a good few degrees. Okay, so we've laid this thing out and we've put a center punch right in the center of that. Now one of these sides is critical. It's 1.250 plus or minus 0. So what I've done is I've left myself a little extra room out here on the outside edge, and once I get the hole bored and the taper set, then I'll come back in and surface off this outside edge to bring it back into the 250 thousandths, or 1 inch 250. So at this point, I think we're ready to go ahead and let's spin that and see what that looks like. And I'd say that center punch is traveling pretty square up. So let's put ourselves a centering drill in. And crank it in just a little bit. All right, let's start hacking away at the taper here. See what we can come up with. Okay, it's the last cut of the last cut, and we're hoping everything's going to work out. Let's give that a try. Looks pretty good. It's all by sense of feel here because there's no way of measuring it, at least none that I know of. That's pretty close. Let's see what the other one looks like. Yep, I'd say that's right on the money. Looks good. Okay, so we've got our cut. I think what I'm going to do is hit it with just a little bit of lapping compound just to make sure that we got it lapped in nicely. It's hitting right in the center, see it? Nice little wear spot right in the center, which is okay. So now what we have to do is we have to come up with exactly 1 and I think a 1/4 inch from the center here to this edge. And I left myself a little bit of extra room out here, so we're going to drop it back on the mill and we're going to just start trimming this edge off until we come up with exactly 1 and a 1/4.